The me nobody knows is a shy, reserved person who finds it hard to relate to the world. Lately, I feel connected to everything, yet I feel no real attachment to anyone or anything. The me nobody knows experienced my first true love with my mother. She was just 14 when I was born. She abandoned me twice, both times in the airport. The first time, I'm only 3 years old. It's a beautiful day with a colorful Jamaican sky overhead. My uncle Basil is holding me. My mother leans down to me and says, I'm going to buy you a doll. I'll be back. Don't cry. But as I watched her walk further and further away and closer to the plane, tears streamed down my cheeks. She doesn't look back until she climbs the steps to board the plane. I watch her until I can't see anymore. It's the worst day of my life. The second time she leaves me at the airport was a punishment for speaking to my father for the first time. She says, I want you to know what it feels like to expect someone to show up and be there for you, and they're not. After the first time she left, she did not come back until 4 years later when I was 7 years old. For those 4 years, we just speak on the phone on Sundays. The me nobody knows is tired of being called weird, looked at like I don't belong, even by my own family. It's bad enough that when I'm young, my parents aren't physically around to raise me. Instead, I live with my grandma, who makes sure I'm sent to school looking like a bully's dream, with my super long uniform skirts and big old granny plaits, while all the other girls get to wear skirts just below or even right above the knees, while mine goes down to my ankles. Grandma always calls me an unwanted picnic, and unwanted I do feel. I look at her and wonder if she's really my grandma. She looks almost nothing like me, especially with her curly, soft textured hair. I always get the feeling that she thinks being mixed with white is better than being a nigger. She has these funny sayings about black people. She says, don't marry a black man, pick a white or Chinese man. They treat you better. She always talks about the Chinese man that wanted to marry her before she met my grandfather. The me nobody knows once plotted the demise of my mother and her husband, 30 years her senior. I wanted to put them out because when she finally returns and I live with them, it's torture. Imagine just being molested last night, and now I'm in church today with him, my mother's husband, Harry, sitting here calling down Jesus off the cross. Well, that me wishes people could see the hurt that's been brewing since it started when I was 5 years old, and no, I'm not lying, and he's not the only one. The me nobody knows doesn't believe in temporary insanity until the incident on the Trailways bus. I've studied criminal justice, but whenever I hear someone claim temporary insanity in a case, I think you knew exactly what you were doing. I'm 23 years old. It's a warm summer day. I'm on my way to the bus station, running a few minutes late. When I arrive, the bus driver, a friend of mine who's expecting me, is waiting to tell me Harry is on the bus already. My friend asks if I'm sure I want to get on. I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna be all right, because ain't nobody gonna stop me from going on a bus. So I put my suitcase underneath the bus and then proceed to board. I pass Harry. I see him. He has the most pompous, smug look on his face. He's so brazen. Something snaps inside. I side shot him in the jaw, then walk to the very last three seats in the back of the bus and sit down. I'm boiling, and I know if I stay on this bus for 2 hours, they will have to call the state troopers to arrest me because I'm going to harass his ass until we arrive in NYC. I decided to leave and travel tomorrow. I get off the bus, go to retrieve my belongings, but then I get right back on. All these years, he must have thought I would never fight back. But I snap and in a temporary insanity find a kind of strength. It surprises me. Him and a bus of travelers. I start to box him out. He doesn't even think to protect himself. Right jab, left jab. Right jab, left jab. He yells in the most bitch-ass voice ever. Don't touch me. Don't touch me. Don't touch me. I laugh my fucking ass off. I'm so far into insanity. Then an older woman screams, "Please stop. You're scaring my daughter." That's when I came to and walked off the bus a second time. I call my mom to come get me. My mom pretty much reprimands me, saying, "No matter what, you should never put your hands on anyone." To which I reply, "A touch for a touch." He wanted to touch me, so I touched him. The me nobody knows hates unsolicited male attention because I always have danger in the back of my mind. The me nobody knows wonders what it would have been like if my dad had been around. I met him in an airport when I was 20 for the first time, and nothing could make up for that lost time. The me nobody knows is tired of living in this country and never being able to feel safe. I miss living in Jamaica, a black country where I'm not thought of as a threat simply because I'm black. The me nobody knows likes to remember my mother carrying me in her arms in the warm Jamaican afternoons. Little me seeing her coming from lunch with her high school friends. She's in her uniform and I'm in mine. The me nobody knows is constantly evolving. The me nobody knows still has stories I've never told before. Some I may even take to the grave. The me nobody knows isn't fulfilled and needs to travel the world. Sometimes the me nobody knows want to get on a plane and not look back.